Nifty 50 closed at 26,042.30, down 0.38% on profit booking and thin year-end volumes. Bank Nifty closed at 59,011.35, down 0.29% in the same session. Sensex closed lower at 85,041.45 amid broader weakness. Today's results reflect profit booking, reduced participation, and range compression near key technical levels. This script breaks down the post-market picture for tomorrow's session, Monday, 29th December 2025. Good evening, this is your post-market analysis for Friday, 26th December 2025. After a holiday break and year-end thin liquidity, Indian markets closed with broad indices lower. Nifty 50 at 26,042.30, profit booking capped the upside. Bank Nifty at 59,011.35, range remains intact with mild downside pressure. Sensex 85,041.45, weighed by financial and IT weakness. Trigger levels for Monday, 29th December 2025. Nifty. Bullish pivot, 26,150 to 26,200. Bearish risk, below 25,850. Bank Nifty. Bullish pivot, 59,300 to 59,600. Bearish risk, below 58,800. The first 15 minutes tomorrow decide direction. Today was not a breakdown, it was a measured profit squeeze after recent rallies, with indicators pointing to a compressed range and neutral sentiment. Experts note that markets are at a make-or-break zone around key supports and resistances. Global market overview, why it matters for India. Global markets are in year-end mode with muted participation. US indices continued seasonal strength, but thin liquidity means global cues are less dominant. India is now trading on internal flow and structure. Asian markets showed limited direction, and Europe ended mixed. When global cues are indifferent, domestic derivatives, participation, and psychology control price action, exactly what we observe in India. This setup favors range resolution from local pressure rather than global momentum. Indian market overview. Today's session revealed. Nifty declined till 100 points, reflecting profit booking and resistance rejection. Bank Nifty slipped below 59,100, but remains inside the broader mid-December range. Thin volumes, indicating reluctant participants and year-end trimming. A market that fades near resistance but fails to plunge below key supports is neither bearish nor bullish, it's balanced and compressed. Sector performance, rotation and sentiment. Underperformance noted in financials, led by ICICI Bank and SBI weakness. IT stocks, profit-taking pressured growth sentiment, echoing macro caution. Relative resilience seen in select cyclicals and metals, driven by demand cues. Some large industrials indicate selective stronger pockets. This rotation suggests profit-taking over capitulation, with market participants shifting exposure internally rather than exiting entirely. Top gainers and losers, today's movers, with indications. Top gainers. Coal India, cyclicals showing relative interest amid defensive outflows. Shriram Finance, NBFC structural story continuing strong. Top losers. ICICI Bank, underperformed along with broader financial weight. Kotak Mahindra Bank, mild decline but with stock-specific resilience. Infosys, IT weakness contributed to broader market softness. These specific moves signal rotation and profit booking at higher levels, not a structural sell-off. FII-DII activity. Price behavior suggests foreign investors trimming at highs. Domestic institutions absorbing supply. This dynamic supports the view that today's contraction was profit booking, not distribution, keeping immediate support intact. Technical analysis, Nifty. Support cluster, 25,850 to 25,800. Resistance cluster, 26,150 to 26,200. Nifty's inability to sustain above 26,150 confirms range resistance pressure, with buyers awaiting a clean breakout. Technical analysis, Bank Nifty. Using reliable historical data. Bank Nifty levels on 26 December 2025. Open, 59,092.85. High, 59,178.20. Low, 58,952.90. Close, 59,011.35. Support, 58,800 to 58,500. Resistance, 59,300 to 59,600. Bank Nifty remains in a neutral to mildly bearish drift inside a broader mid-December range, with no decisive trend yet. Nifty options analysis, separate and detailed. Open interest pools. Calls concentrated above 26,150 26,200, sellers defending upside. Puts stacked near 25,800 25,600, defensive support anchored. Market language interpretation. Call writers are saying, we don't expect definite upside yet. Put writers are saying, support around 25,800 is real. Buyers inside range bleed time decay while writers hold the band. This structure leads to compression until a breakout triggers volatility unwind and directional expansion. BankNifty options analysis, separate and detailed. BankNifty OI landscape shows. Call OI near 59,300 to 59,600, sellers defending higher range. Put OI near 58,800 to 59,000, put anchors guarding downside. This means both sides are defending critical range boundaries. Price is coiling into a tighter band. Breakouts are likely to be sharp once levels fail. Since BankNifty often leads broad index direction, its next major move will heavily influence Nifty's trend on Monday. Market psychology. Today's market was measured, cautious, range-bound. No panic. No broad capitulation. When traders hesitate and volumes thin near end of year, markets compress, and compressed ranges are fertile ground for sudden directional shifts once a technical trigger hits. Important news and drivers. Markets trimmed gains as traders booked profits near recent peaks. Macro cues were mixed, and year-end positioning saw participants reducing risk exposure. Tomorrow's market outlook, Monday, 29th December 2025. Nifty. Break above 26,150 to 26,200 continuation bias. Below 25,850 deeper range engagement. BankNifty. Above 59,300 to 59,600 follow through. Below 58,800 range drift persists. Core concept. Push pin the first 15 minutes tomorrow decide direction. Watchlist for Monday, with context. Educational context, not trade calls. Coal India, cyclicals responding to broader demand cues. Shriram Finance, NBFC strength theme. ICICI Bank, key financial stock testing range support. Kotak Mahindra Bank, relative resilience. Infosys, IT pivot for risk appetite. Metals names, cyclical price action clarity. These are structure signals, not buy-sell tips. Mini educational insert. Why option compression often precedes breakouts? When both sides defend strong OI ranges. Volatility contracts. Time decay accelerates. Traders await trigger. Once the range breaks, option unwinding often accelerates momentum dramatically. In summary, today's market closed lower, a profit booking and compression session. Nifty, 26,042. BankNifty, 59,011. Range intact near key levels. First 15 minutes tomorrow will decide the augural direction of the last trading week. This is structure, not speculation.